Liberals this morning. Christmas has come early for the Liberals and Prime Minister Mark Carney, with former Conservative MP Michael Mah crossing the floor to join them.
So let's give a warm welcome to our newest member of the Liberal Party, Michael.
Not just warm, it was red hot, this welcome from his new caucus members last night at the annual Liberal holiday party. For a closer look at reaction this morning, we're joined by CTV political commentator and former NDP leader Tom Mulcair. Good morning.
Good morning, Anne-Marie.
From my understanding, political watchers were surprised by this. I don't know how the Conservatives, if they were surprised or not, but it seemed like everything was settled. The House had risen, the holiday parties had been had, including the Conservative holiday party, which was the night before. Michael Mah, now the second Conservative to cross the floor. What is happening?
Well, speaking of that Conservative Christmas party the night before, Michael Mah was there, and he had his picture taken with his leader, Pierre Poilievre. So lo and behold, the next day he's with his leader, Prime Minister Mark Carney, and he's now a Liberal. There is obviously a serious ethical problem with this idea of floor crossing. It's something that's always existed in Canadian politics. A great book was just written about it, by the way, amongst other subjects on our democracy, and it's called No I in Team. And when you see that sort of brazen floor crossing, you have to wonder if the people who wrote the book, No I in Team, weren't onto something when they said there should be a cooling off period between the time that you can say that you're going to be leaving the party with which you got elected and going over to another party, because that's the nub of it. We're in a democracy. It's the Westminster system. It's based on parties. You get elected with a party and with its platform and its leader. And then all of a sudden you decide, well, not so much because we're not in power. I'm going to go over to the other guys. It is a problem, and I think it's one that I think all parliamentarians should be sitting down and looking for a solution to.
Mr. Poilievre has reacted, and one of his responses was the fact that Mr. Mah is going to have to answer to his constituents. And Mr. Mah said, listen, I did consult my constituents, and this is partly why I came to this decision. Talk to me about what happens in a riding when the party that you voted in is now not the party that's representing you.
Depends on the riding. I actually know, you know, Markham Unionville. I've been up there, especially when John McCallum was the Liberal MP up there. Very large community, Chinese-Canadian community. I was up there for Chinese New Year for one big event. They're very important. They're very well structured and organized, and it looks like Mr. Mah probably did talk to a lot of people in the community who prefer having somebody who's with the governing party, who's in power. Fair enough. It's understandable. But in the GTA, Mr. Poilievre and the Conservatives broke through in a lot of areas. This particular riding flips back and forth constantly, Liberal and Conservative. But you saw the Conservatives work hard to break through in the 905, and there's something wrong if people had been saying, well, you know, it looks like the Conservatives are 25 points ahead, let's go with them this time. And then all of a sudden it's the Liberals who make it in, and people start switching. That's the thing that would be concerning to me if I were Pierre Poilievre. By the way, I thought he was pitch perfect in his reaction, not over the top, simply saying, the voters are going to have something to say about this, and I think that they will. It'll depend on how things are shaping up in the next election. But I do think that the Conservatives right now have to be worried who's next. I don't think that Michael Mah was on anybody's bingo card. I don't think anybody saw this one coming. He might have been even the night before.
But he might have been on Carney's list, right? If they know who to go after, what do they know that the Conservative and the Conservative leader don't?
Well said, exactly that. Who, you know, they know who to go after. Who's got a cultural community or other backers in their riding who are saying to him, you know, we'd really like to have a guy who can actually have the Prime Minister's ear. Yeah, so there's definitely some of that going on here, Anne-Marie.
As we look ahead to his leadership review, Pierre Poilievre's, which is happening in January, you know, he's now walking in there having lost 3 members, 1 who has retired and 2 who have crossed over to the Liberals. If anybody else joins the Liberals, they are now sitting in a majority territory. So Pierre Poilievre is walking into a leadership review with that on his tally card. What is the likelihood of him losing this leadership review?
I think it's extremely low. I think he's going to win his leadership review. The number will count. I think he's even going to get a high number. I mean, basically, you're looking at something in the 70% range to have people get off your back. I think he's going to get way over that. He's very popular with his party. And I don't think that this type of event plays badly for him, because it reflects so badly on the person doing the floor crossing and not on the leader of the party. I mean, it's easy for the Liberals to go around and offer to have people come over to them. They're in power. They've got the stuff to give out. They've got the ability to deliver on things. So I don't think that anybody in the Conservative Party is going to be blaming Pierre Poilievre for that. In fact, it'll reaffirm for them their feeling that the Liberals are a little bit sneaky on this sort of stuff. But the real danger for them, and because, you know, Carney's Liberals have been building the majority that the voters didn't give them, they've been building it one defection at a time, one floor crossing at a time.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there's a real danger that there might be one or two more. But you know what, Anne-Marie? It's not a comfortable situation when it's this close.
Right.
And they won't have too many friends in the House. And any vote that could be considered a confidence vote could go any way. So
Okay.
I still think that Mr. Carney's going to be looking to have an earlier election rather than later.
Let me just ask you and pull on your experience as a former party leader. If this were happening in your ranks and you've now got 4 weeks or more off until the House comes back, what would you be doing to make sure everybody stays put?
I would have my whip, my assistant whips. I would have my House leader and other senior figures in the party talking to people, attending events with them, you know, saucing them out, talking, finding out where they are. They're usually pretty good at that, and the Conservatives are particularly good at it, but they're so good at it, sometimes they can be a bit overbearing and telling people what they're allowed to say and not say and who they can talk to and things like that. That's one of the challenges of being Pierre Poilievre. He's a bit of a control freak. So I think that they have to do this, but they have to do it with a lighter touch than they've been using, and maybe that'll keep everybody on board.
CTV political commentator and former NDP leader Tom Mulcair, great to have you with us. Have a good weekend.
All the best, you too.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.